what up, guys, and welcome back to Summer Lunch Break. Today, we sit down with YouTube legend JB ONeill. JB gives us the rundown of what it was like growing his YouTube channel from just a few friendly followers to what is now 67,000 subscribers. Not only has JB made his mark in the content creation world, he's also just released his first ever pro model, the Hyperlight Free Press. If he's not zipping around from cable park to cable park in his state-of-the-art Prius, he's probably spending some time with his dog Airbud or at his local Home Depot picking up supplies for his next video. If you've ever wondered what it's like traveling to the Philippines and picking up a dog for yourself, you may want to keep on listening. Here he is, JB ONeill.
You know what I'm really scared about is if the wakeboarders get too close to shore, they may use some people on the shore as bonking items.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We're very excited to have you here. And welcome, Airbud. We're so happy you're here too. Woo!
He says hey.
All right, awesome. Well, we're just going to get rolling with questions. First question is either what you have for lunch now or what you had for lunch today.
I had lunch like an hour and a half ago. I went to Chipotle, and yeah, it's pretty much like a sour cream bowl, I guess, because I put so much sour cream on my Chipotle that it's absolutely disgusting, but I like it, so it's cool.
Yeah, I'd take the whole freaking container of it on my burrito. I don't even care. That's awesome. All right, so you're a bowl guy. You're not a burrito guy?
I get a tortilla on the side, so then I like it's like a bonus. I make like a bunch of mini burritos. I like rip it up, and then I make a bunch of mini taco things.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. All right, well, let's get rolling. We just want to touch on kind of your story a little bit and how you got into wakeboarding. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
How I got into wakeboarding. I think probably like 2004-ish, kind of, is probably when I started wakeboarding. My dad had sort of an old Sea Ray, like 210, like 21-foot even boat, just like a runabout boat, nothing crazy, real cheap boat, and it came with this wakeboard called the Wakeboard by a brand called Quicksilver, but not like the Quicksilver that everyone knows. It just had like foot straps, and like the top layer of it was like this thin aluminum or something, and the bottom half of it was like a hollow plastic that was like full of air. So yeah, I don't know, I learned how to wakeboard on that, and whenever I tried it, I did not like wakeboarding. Like I got up and it was kind of cool, I guess, but like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't really like carve around or anything very good. And the lake that I grew up on, Lake Travis, is always just full of boats and stuff. And I rode it one or two times. I was like, nah, like I'm on a kneeboard. This is way cooler. And yeah, but later down the road, one of my buddies had some like Hyperlight motive board. I think you can get it at Costco or something. And I rode that, had some like actual bindings on it. And I really liked it that time. I did a couple jumps, maybe like, you know, this high in the air. And I mean, this high must have felt this high, you know. Totally. And after that, I was like, okay, I really like this. I want to do this more. And eventually this board shop in Houston, Texas, it was called Houston Ski and Board. They shut down. And my dad got me like a complete setup for like $100. It's called a Free Motion Swinger was the board. Nice. And then we just started wakeboarding from there and learned my first flip after a couple of weeks. It was a tantrum. And then, yeah, we started going to like the local grassroots, like competitions and stuff around here, hosted by this boat dealership called Sail and Ski. It's still here. But yeah, and then just wanted to get better and better after that, and slowly made my way here, I guess.
Nice. That's awesome. Were there anyone kind of, as you were learning and making a name for yourself, were there any pro riders that you kind of like looked up to or idolized, like, oh, I want to be like that guy, or, you know?
Yeah, definitely, but it wouldn't be like the standard pros that people would normally say, because I didn't know who they were. Like we didn't have Wakeboarding Magazine, or we didn't have Alliance Wake Magazine or anything like that. And there were like a couple local pros on the lake. There's this guy named Billy Garcia. He would do lessons on Lake Austin, and I would kind of go like help out and like throw the rope to kids and help them get their boots on and stuff. He was like labeled as like Masters world champion, and back then I thought Masters meant like you're the master. So so he was the best to me. So Billy Garcia was kind of like my idol. And then this other guy that worked for him, his name was JP Rayleigh, and he wasn't like pro or anything. He just really sent it really big, did a bunch of Rayleigh tricks, nothing too crazy, but in my eyes, it was the craziest thing ever. And this other guy, Mitch Bergsma, you might not have ever heard of him, but he does YouTube. He's actually deaf, and he's insanely good at wakeboarding, still insanely good at wakeboarding. And yeah, those were kind of the guys I looked up to. There were a few more local pros and stuff like that. And I didn't really realize there was anything else out there until I actually like rode my first WWA contest. I thought I was so good at wakeboarding. I thought I was so good. I thought I was the best, like in Texas and everything. And then I rode in this WWA event against Jimmy LaRich, and this was like junior pro man or something. Yeah. I had no idea who anybody there was, and I just got it handed to. I got whooped. I got beat so bad. And there's like this whole other Florida little area of wakeboarding I had no idea about, and I got whooped so hard. And then that was kind of
humbling.
yeah, very, very much a reality check. And then I went back home and wanted to get better and better.
Nice.
And I would only ride boat back then. Now I ride cable mostly, but boat too as well.
Yeah. When did you kind of make that, jump into riding cable as well? When did that happen?
So probably in late 2012, like winter of 2012 and 2013, I had this idea that I'm going to like make a video. I'm going to make a wakeboard video, and it's going to be the best video I have ever made. And hopefully people will notice, and it would be really cool if people notice. But as I was filming this video, the engine in our boat blew up. So I was just like, oh, well, it's over, we're done. Like, cause I didn't come from like a rich family or anything. So that was kind of like, damn. But just as that happened, BSR Cable Park in Waco, Texas, you might've heard of it. They have like the surf pool and stuff. They had just opened. It was just like a tent on the dock and like a couple features and stuff. And I wasn't like a huge fan of TSR back then, just because it felt like very corporate and stuff. And BSR was like, come here, do whatever you want. There's no rules. So I just started riding cable every day. And that's the first time I actually liked riding cable. So I just started riding every day, and I wanted to get better and better and better. So I started riding cable then. And I actually made that video half boat, half cable, and turned out pretty good.
Nice. That's awesome. Well, speaking of riding cable, you just released your first pro model board for 2021. That's really exciting. I would like to kind of touch on just, how that feels being you and having your first pro model, and, what that's like.
Yeah, it's super awesome. I thought it was something that would never happen. That's actually not true, because it almost happened. I used to ride for O'Brien, and right before I got kicked off of O'Brien, they were making me a pro model wakeboard then. And like, it was such like a crush, like it just crushed me. And I was like, all right, well, I've kind of given up. I've given up a lot of times, and then just kept it going anyway. But I thought it would never happen again. I went through another board brand, Connolly, and then started riding for Hyperlite, and I just kind of accepted that it would never happen. And just kept pumping out more and more videos, and my name kept growing. And Greg Nelson reached out to me. He's like, well, why don't we just make you your own shape? And I still didn't believe the words that came out of his mouth. I was like, yeah, okay, sure. And I didn't even act like excited or anything, because I don't want to believe something until it happens, because last time it was so close and just got shut down. So I didn't really say anything to anybody about it forever. And then finally, it got printed out, and it was so exciting to like finally have this board that was my own. And and it's everything like I could have hoped for. It's so good, and it's so fun, and it's so cool to see like everybody at the cable park riding it, especially like OWC. There are so many people riding the board, and it's really cool.
That's awesome. What was it like, that experience, you know, because you had a part in how it was shaped and designing it with Aaron. So what was that experience like?
It was pretty cool. Greg at first sort of had me draw out on graph paper. He showed me all these older boards he used to draw for Double Up, which is like a board brand he used to own back in the day. It kind of exists now in other countries, but not really in America. But he showed me all these shapes and what he did and everything. And he's like, okay, if you can come up with sort of some sort of idea that you like, and we'll send it in, see if it gets approved. And I drew a few things, sent them in, and they got approved. But I don't know exactly what everything needs to be on a wakeboard. I'm not a professional board shaper guy or anything. So Aaron kind of took some of my ideas and talked to me about it and everything. And he kind of sent me 3D mock-up and everything, and then sent me a prototype, and we tried it out and found kind of the things I didn't like and the things I did. And it was really cool. And he got rid of like one thing that I didn't like about it. And then the final one that came out turned out amazing. And yeah, I don't know. It's really cool. I never really was able to have that experience before. Yeah, so it was pretty awesome.
That's awesome. Do you remember when you know, like that moment of you wrote it and you're like, this is it, no more changes, like we got the board?
No, because the change I wanted, everything was so perfect except for the one change I wanted. I had sort of like this spine in the nose. It would sort of like push you off rails. I was like, if we just get rid of that, I mean, we don't really even need to try it again. I mean, it'll be good. And the one was the actual one at the photo shoot, and I hopped on it, and I was really nervous actually, and it was perfect. So yeah, I couldn't be happier with how it turned out.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations on that. That's so exciting.
Thank you.
All right, we're jumping into you and YouTube, because you're kind of popular on there. So I definitely want to talk about it a little bit. What made you want to, you mentioned making a wake video that was half boat, half cable. Was that kind of like the moment you were like, I'm gonna get into YouTube, or was there a different time? Different
time, yeah, definitely.
Okay,
but back then I just wanted to show, back then I just wanted to show everybody my riding and try and like impress and try and prove myself sort of. And but now one of my friends, David OC, he makes YouTube videos, and at first I thought they were kind of like kooky, and you know, some of them are. I mean, some of the ones I make are kooky. I'll ride like weird things and things like that. And, you know, that's not really to appeal to like the core of wakeboarding, whereas it would be more appealing to someone new coming into the sport. And then also some of the videos would be less kooky to try and appeal to the core. But yeah, so David OC, at first I thought some of the videos are kooky, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I'd really want to like get into that. I even kind of like busted his balls a little bit. Like, we're really good friends. And yeah, so I wasn't too into it. And then one of my friends, he rides BMX, and I ran into him on this Dubai trip we did. And he was like, yeah, you know, I made 30 grand this month, and I didn't even upload a video. And I mean, obviously BMX is a way larger scale than wakeboarding, like a million times larger scale. But I was just like, whoa. And then David OC, he won Reader's Poll Rider of the Year. And I was like, all right, okay, y'all are on to something. I'm just going to try it out. And I had just signed a 3-year deal with Hyperlight. I was like, okay, I feel pretty safe right now. So even if I blow it, I'm okay, and I can make up for it in the next 2 years. So I kind of just was like, all right, let's just send it. Let's go to Philippines, January 1st, 2019. I'm going to make a video every second day forever. Like, I'm just going to go and make a video every 2 days, and hopefully it takes off. And those first 4 months, probably maybe even 6, was like a really not fun 6 months, because like, it was fun because I was making videos with my friends and all these videos are coming up, but but no one was watching them. You know, you might get 1,000 views or 2,000 views or 800 views, and you're putting in all this work for no one to see it. And it drove me insane. I was like, man, this is never going to work. And then, you know, David OC told me, my BMX friend told me, he's like, just keep going. It will take off. I promise. As soon as summertime hit, it just straight up. And I was just like, oh, okay. And then it was way easier. I was like seeing results and seeing like fans and people at places I go to be, oh, I watch your videos. Oh, you're that YouTube guy. Or kids and their parents will come up. Hey, can I take a photo of you with my kid? And all these things. Whereas before, that wouldn't really happen. Before, I'd post something on Instagram of me doing this badass trick or something like that. And all of like the core wakeboarders and wakeboarding, they'd be like, yeah, sick, bro. That's awesome. And then you show up somewhere and no one knows you except for the 3 other core guys at the cable. So it was really rewarding to see that other people cared and you're bringing new people into the sport. And I don't know, it feels really cool to actually be recognized and know that your work was worth it. So yeah.
Totally. And is that, you know, with talking about fans and people kind of knowing you or you giving people an opportunity to get to know the sport better, is that, would you say, kind of something that's kept you going all these years doing it? Because that's a lot of work. I mean, uploading that often, it takes a lot of time. So
I don't really know what's pushing me to keep doing it besides just the people that keep coming back and watching. They always comment. There's always like a lot of support, and always the people at the cable parks that you see and everything like that. I just feel like there's a lot of people behind it, and I don't really want to let anyone else down. And sometimes it is tough to keep going because I do spend a huge majority of my life on the computer now, and that's pretty stressful. But just seeing how stoked people get and how many new people are getting in the sport is kind of what keeps it going, I think.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and I just saw, didn't you just hit like 67,000?
Yeah, that's where we're at now. I hope I can get to 100 because I want to get that little plaque to put on the wall.
Okay,
and then I'll quit.
And then we're done at that.
We're done after that.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure you'll get there within the year. Easy.
I hope.
All right. Let's see. That's speaking of 67,000. Did you ever imagine that you would get to that amount of followers?
So whenever I started, I wanted my 3-year goal to be 25,000. And I think that happened in the first year or something. So after that, it's all just been a bonus. I didn't really think it would happen, but I was just hoping to have a platform that I could upload to and always have like a nice view count that I could show sponsors and stuff as well.
Totally.
So yeah, I definitely beat my goal. So nice. now it's just mega bonus.
Totally. We're just waiting for the plaque. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I want to also ask, just because you do have a pretty like wide range of content that you do upload, do you have any sort of videos that are like your favorite to create? Because I know you do like all sorts of stuff, riding with pros, riding with Groms, like building stick stuff, and then doing tricks off of it, challenges, everything like that, you know. Do you have a favorite?
I guess my favorite would maybe be something that I don't do that much anymore. Is like a couple of years ago, I would have made like a full video part of my best riding. And it's really fun to like put your best tricks together and see like this piece of work that you put together. I haven't really done that just because I've been putting out so many videos. I would like to go back and put something like that together again. But aside from that, what I like to put together is just videos where we're having fun. Maybe not even necessarily riding something. The other day, me and everyone just went on the boat. I bought a megaphone and we went out and just kind of like yelled at jet skiers to jump our wakes or like things like that, just goofing off on the lake and stuff like that. Those are the best ones just because it doesn't feel so much like I'm trying to like film this plot and get this thing done. Just everybody kind of has the GoPro and passes it around. That's kind of sort of the more fun video for me, I think.
Totally. Do you normally, with a lot of your videos, do you normally go in with a plan, or is it pretty impromptu, just kind of as it goes?
I guess there would just be a general idea for each video. A lot of them have zero plan. I'll just wake up, be like, all right, let's film something.
Yeah.
But like there would be a video with a plan would be, I'm going to go to a cable park and I'm going to put the GoPro on my head and I'm going to ride this cable park, and it'd just be like a POV video of OWC or of MWC or Revolution Cable Park. I just have a plan to make this video where I go and ride around and tell people what I'm doing while I'm riding. That would be like the biggest amount of planning that I would have. Or I'm going to go to Home Depot and buy a 2x12 and we're going to see what we can do on it. Like that's the plan from the beginning. And there's not really anything after that. After that is just whatever goes happens.
Whatever happens. Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Who is your favorite buddy to film with?
Graham probably, or my friend Brady. He hasn't been wakeboarding much lately, but those two are definitely my favorite. Brady is super easy because he can do like any trick on the spot. You tell him to do whatever you want him to do and he'll do it. He is 1,000 times more talented than me, 100%. and then Graham, he might not get things on the first try, but he'll try things way out of his comfort zone. So you might get an awesome clip of him dying, or you might get an awesome clip of him doing something that's absolutely ridiculous that you would never want to try in your entire life. So it's like Graham, you might get this wild card of insanity trick, and then Brady is like, boom, does anything you want right when you want it, done,
totally
ready to go.
Yeah, nice, awesome. That's sweet. All right, well, we're going to transition into a new kind of series of questions. The title of them is called So Tell Me About. So I'm going to ask you some stuff and I'm going to have you tell me about it, and us and everyone watching. But I would like you to tell me about your Philippines trip, and because you've traveled there a couple times, right?
Yeah, a few times, quite a few times.
So I'd love to hear just kind of what that's like, what draws you back, what you love about it, even what you don't like about it, and just, fill us in on that.
I mean, I can tell you this last trip, I guess, it was pretty hectic, this last trip. But I have been a lot of times. One time I stayed 8 months, one time 6 months. This last time was like 4. But this last time was pretty wild. Me, Graham, Nick Leduc, Trevor Maurer, and Dave AV went over to Philippines together, and we were going to film this hyperlight video or something. And I wound up with, like, starting the trip before it started, I had this mega heel bruise. So I was pretty useless from the beginning. And then it just started raining every day for all of eternity. It would just never stop. And during the trip, Graham very early on happened to clip a front tire of a tricycle with his scooter. He flew out the front and snapped his arm and got like this huge gash under his neck right here. Somehow magically survived. I have no idea. Like, it is like he should not have survived, and he definitely made it out and is ripping harder than ever. That's for sure.
Crazy.
And then they ended up leaving. Everybody ended up leaving. They made some sort of quick hyperlight video, and I'm not even sure which one it was, just because there's been so many videos that came out since then. But then everything was all normal. Typhoon happened, and that I had seen Airbud prior. He would be like at the cable park. He got his name because he'd always be like begging for food and stuff. And I fed him like, what is it? Not pudding, but yogurt. Yogurt comes in the same container as pudding. It would come with like my breakfast, this yogurt thing. So he would eat out of it and be kind of like the movie Airbud. So that's how he got his name. But we found him. But then a typhoon came, and that made the trip even like more crushed. But I brought him into shelter, and he was in shelter for like 28 hours, didn't pee or poop. I was like, all right, well, we're going to keep you. So went to the vet, got him all his shots and everything. So he was ready to go. Then the rest of the trip kind of like brightened up for a bit and got more videos done, filmed, and wakeboarded a bunch. And then I T-boned a truck on my scooter at like 50 miles an hour. And I like jumped last second. Like, this guy pulled out in front of me, like the worst time. Like, it was fully his fault, but you know, there's no rules over there on the street. So there's nothing I could really do about the situation. I just like jumped as high as I could, and my shins like clipped the top of this truck. It would have been like, I don't know, Ford Ranger size truck, not a huge truck or anything.
Jeez.
And clipped it, did a front flip, landed on my feet, but I was going too fast to land on my feet, and then got slammed on my back, had a backpack on, just slid down the road like 60, 70 yards on my backpack, and then got up, had bloody shins, nothing broke somehow. And I went back, yelled at the guy, picked up my bike, and it looked annihilated. There's a photo somewhere I have, and like both forks are like bent all the way in. My front tire was like touching the carburetor on the front of my engine, and
oh my God.
And I pressed start, and it somehow started. I just putted back to cable because my bike was illegal. I bought it for like $200, no papers.
Nice.
And I just like laid down in my cabin and looked at the ceiling, and then it all like the pain set in and stuff. So I probably didn't wakeboard for like a month because I had my heel bruise came back from like smashing the concrete on landing. So yeah, really hectic trip. Usually they go way better. Usually they go.
There's something good that happened over there.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like a lot of fun to be had, but it was definitely the worst one I've ever had, for sure. But yeah, I mean, we wakeboarded a lot, and the weather is warm there all winter, and that's the best cable park in the world, and it has the most epic view with the mountain in the background and stuff like that. We would go jump waterfalls and did some 4-wheeler rides and stuff, and just like riding around town on scooters is fun too. It's just like super fun. I still do it even though I got smashed, but yeah. Is that
like, is Philippines your favorite place to travel to ride, or have you been anywhere else that you're like, oh, this is the spot?
I really want to do Thai Wake Park. I just like Philippines because it's cheap. It's very cheap. It doesn't cost hardly anything. Like this last time was free, but normally you pay like $700 a month. You get unlimited ride, unlimited stay, and you just go have fun. I mean, there's nobody to tell you what to do. You can go buy a meal for $1, and that's it. You have fun, and there's no worries because there's no, like, money is not an issue. So when you're there, like here, maybe you'd be like, oh yeah, I don't want to spend $30 on a meal or something that doesn't exist there. So
got it.
It's just full send, do whatever you want, have fun. No one's going to tell you no. And it's just fun.
That's awesome. What's your favorite thing to eat over there?
Oh man, I'm just bashing this country, huh? Their food is like really sugary American food. So it's not the greatest food, but they have like really good chicken. All of their chicken is like fresh just because they're just hanging out, walking on the road, and they just grab one and turn it into a meal real quick. But but there's this place called Perry Happy over there, and they have the best little chicken skewers with their special dip. I don't know what it is, but it's awesome. Okay. And I eat that.
Nice. Well, you kind of touched on how you and Air Bud's paths crossed, but if you want to give us a more detailed story of how you guys came to be, I'm sure everyone would love to hear about that.
Yeah, I think he was everybody at the cable park's favorite dog, for sure. Because he's just super chill, and he'll just sit there and like wait for you to give him food. He won't like be all hyper and annoying or bark at you or anything. You can see his tongue sticking out right now. But yeah, so I would feed him just my leftover foods, like my food, like every day whenever I'd be done eating. Same with everybody else. And then yeah, I just see him every single day. I was probably there longer than everyone, so I just saw him the most, I feel like. And after that typhoon, I was like, okay, you're definitely coming back. And I got online and set him up as an ESA. I don't think it will work anymore, but I basically just filled out the thing. Whenever I'm sad, I feel like drinking. Whenever I'm mad, I feel like hurting people. And 10 out of 10 on all of these things, just made myself completely psycho. And maybe that will come back at me one day. It'll be like on some record that I'm completely insane. But whatever, they gave me the little sheet, and he's my ESA or whatever that even means. And went to the airport with his like records that he's clean, and then that ESA, and I was like, yeah, I'm going back to America. She's like, oh, okay, sir. And I'm like, all right, cool. He walks on the plane, sits in my lap, 18 hours, like straight up 18 hours like this. And, you know, I fall asleep like this, you know, and like 9 hours later, I wake up and he's still here like this. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And I made him like little diapers where I like cut a hole for his tail. And I never had to use it. He just hung out, sat there on the floor, looked up at me, whatever. And then we finally got back to America, walked off the plane, walked up to customs, showed the guy my passport. He's like, you been anywhere near mainland China? No. Okay. I walked right by, didn't even ask me about him. I was like, all right, cool, whatever.
That's
he didn't really care.
crazy.
Took him outside. He did his business as soon as we go outside, and then flew to Texas.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Do you think before you kind of said like I'm gonna take you, do you think he picked you out of the crowd and was like, yeah, I'm gonna go home with that
No. Maybe if I had the most chicken, or whoever had food is who he's picking out of the crowd for sure. And he'll go and sit and look super cute, and he'll just wait. He won't bark or paw, or now he paws at you because I taught him that, and that was the worst thing I ever taught him. But yeah, he'll just sit there and look at you until you give him something, and everybody gives him something. So yeah.
That's so funny. Are you his favorite now, or is it still whoever has the most food?
I'm his favorite until someone else has food. But I'm for sure his favorite. I'm 100% his favorite. I mean, he sleep like this all the time.
That's so cute. What a good story. I love that. That's awesome. Not a lot of people can say that they picked up a dog and brought it home on a plane.
Yeah, he's the best. Anna Nick's dad also did it. She
Oh, really?
Yeah, she has a Filipina dog named Canna. So she was asking me maybe we can make little Filipino breed and spread them around America.
That's sick. Well, let me know because I'll take one.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when they act like this.
Yeah, right? He looks so chilled right now. It's sick.
People are always like, hey, what kind of dog is that? I'm like, a good dog. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes say Filipino Shepherd or it's really rare. But I have no idea.
That's awesome. Oh, that's so cute. All right, we'll move into our next question. Some of these are kind of fun now, so I'm really excited to ask you.
Okay.
We touched on this before the interview, but I'd like everyone watching and listening to know what your Taco Bell order is. Okay.
Yeah, I get a number 7 with either a G2 or a brisk mango tea. Usually brisk mango tea. Nice. I don't know. It's so good. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else. Maybe you can. I don't know. But yeah, that's just a chicken quesadilla and crunchy taco meal.
Do they at your local Taco Bell? Do they know you?
Yeah, there's like this old lady that works at the first window, and she always tells me I have pretty eyes. And yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's cool because she's like 80. She's like 80, so it's cool. It's not too crazy.
It's one of those things where you're like, I don't know if it's nice or if it's creepy, but
yeah.
That's awesome. That's so funny.
People don't hit on me that often. You know, most of the time my DMs are flooded with 13-year-old boys rather than cute chicks. So
that's so funny. But at least you got the lady at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Something consistent is always good. All right, we got another question. Is a Prius the ultimate vehicle? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Well, one disadvantage, it can't tow a boat. But my Prius does have a trailer hitch receiver. So I put on this rear little tray sometimes. I'll hold a board bag with like maybe 20 boards or something when we cruise around like the country. And I also built a flatbed trailer for it for like winching and bringing kicker places and stuff. We haven't used it yet, but it definitely works. I towed it around the neighborhood just to test her out. But it is definitely the ultimate vehicle. We have taken it off road. It gets 60 mpg, costs, you know, anywhere from 40 to 60 bucks to get from Austin to Orlando, depending on gas prices.
Oh
and
God.
yeah, it's the best. It doesn't ever break down. It blows air while you're not at your car. It is the best. And I actually thought it was incognito and that you never ever get pulled over in it, because I drive a million miles in it all the time, but
Yeah.
I got a speeding ticket the other day. So I can't say it's incognito anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Damn. There was a woman that lived in my neighborhood when I was younger that would like all the kids knew if you saw her like coming up the road, get to the freaking sidewalk because she will run you over. She would literally go like maybe 35 in like a neighborhood with a bunch of like little kids.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of sketched out by Priuses because I'm used to them going really fast where they're not supposed to.
Yeah. It's nice too, because when you're going slow, it's silent, makes no sound. So me and Airbud will like sneak up on deer all the time. And he goes insane, just like barking out the window and like just scratching up the entire car, trying to get out to go capture a deer. So it's pretty good for that
Does
too.
Does he ride with his head out the window?
No, because he'd jump out. I had one time, me and my friend Dave AV were driving out to ride boat in Dallas or something near the Steiner's ranch, and he saw his first horse, and I had the window open like, you know, that much.
Yeah.
And yeah, he just out at probably 25, 30 mile an hour and just starts going full send at these horses. And they're like kicking and stuff. And luckily he didn't get kicked or anything, but he was just running circles around them for fun.
Oh my gosh, what a crazy guy.
Cows too. Cows, horses, deer.
He'll go after anything.
Oh, he's pretty friendly with dogs.
Friendly with dogs. Okay. All right. Last question on the So Tell Me About. Has Home Depot offered you a sponsorship yet? And if not, when do you expect one?
I really hope they would do that. Especially right now, it's like 70 bucks for a sheet of plywood. It's a all-time record high, way too expensive of stuff. I made a how to build a kicker video the other day, and I was expecting to spend like 150 bucks, and I walked out of there like 350 deep. So yeah, that'd be awesome if someone from Home Depot or works at Home Depot is watching this. If you would like to get me some sort of discount or sponsorship where I get wood for free, that would be fantastic.
Hopefully one of them sees this video or hears this podcast, and then we're like, oh yeah, we should do that.
Definitely. I never go in Lowe's. Never. I see the orange Home Depot, I go there. I see the dark blue on Lowe's. I'm like, oh, those are the bad guys. So Home Depot is a thing, but it's overpriced.
When you get your idea to build whatever you're gonna do, the theme song plays in the background for sure. That's awesome. Have you, on an average, how much time would you say you spend in a Home Depot, like per week?
Maybe once a week. I don't know how much time, but probably once a week.
Once a week. So do you have, are you a regular? Like, I mean, do they know you in there too? Just like Taco Bell lady?
No, there's too many people that work in there. Yeah.
Are you one of those people that likes the smell of the sawdust when you go in?
No.
No?
It makes me sneeze.
Dude, if they made that smell in like an air freshener, I would have that thing plastered in my car, in my house. Like, I don't care. It literally smells like heaven.
Yeah, it's all right. It just makes me sneeze.
Okay. Huh.
And they let Airbud in there.
Oh, they let Airbud in. If I go to Home Depot and I don't see a dog, it's like a failed mission. That's like the most important part about going to Home Depot. Seeing the dog. Well, I'm done with my questions, but I do like to give you an opportunity to give your sponsors a shout out on here and just, say whatever you want to say about that. So you have the floor.
Okay. I mean, I guess, I don't know, Hyper Lights, Interion Boats, Jet Pilot, X Dubai. They all helped me out a bunch, but yeah, mainly maybe my dad or Graham for always filming me. Yeah, Thanks a lot. Y'all are the best.
Awesome. I just like to give you an opportunity to do that. Well, sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all done with my questions. You did awesome. This was a great interview. Super psyched that you and Airbud joined us today. Woohoo. Well, we will see you around.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Later.
See you.